Hello and welcome. My name is Kai, and I'm a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations. I'm so pleased to be here today, and I want to give a special welcome to all the students of Europe Hotel School joining this online learning journey. We're here to support your professional growth. Now, we all know that in hospitality, a 5-star rating often comes down to a 5-star team. But have you ever wondered how top hotels actually build that team? It's not just about hiring. It's a deep strategic process, what we call the people pipeline. And today, we're going to break down that exact strategy, from finding raw talent all the way to building the next generation of leaders.
Right. Let's start with a core truth of our industry, something you just can't get around. The quality of the service can never exceed the quality of the people delivering it. This isn't just some feel-good slogan, it's an operational reality. A hotel's reputation is built on literally thousands of tiny human interactions every single day. So a strategic approach to talent, well, it isn't just important, it's everything. So where does this whole journey begin? It starts with recruitment, but we're not just talking about filling empty spots on a roster. No, this is a strategic search for people who live and breathe hospitality. So let's dive in and break down how the best in the business actually find them. Now, this slide right here makes a really critical distinction. On one side, you've got your technical skills, things like, knowing your way around the property management system. And those are absolutely crucial, of course. But on the other side, you have mindset and behavior. We're talking enthusiasm, adaptability, a real genuine passion for serving others. And here's the kicker. You can always teach someone a new software system, but it is so much harder to teach someone to have an inherently positive attitude. That's why the pros, we hire from mindset first. So to find that right mindset, you absolutely need a structured, objective process. It all starts with a super well-defined job profile that goes way beyond just listing tasks. It describes the ideal fit for your service culture. Then we use behavioral interviews, where you ask candidates to describe how they've handled real situations in the past. This tells you so much more than a resume ever could. Practical assessments, like role-playing a tricky guest complaint, give you a direct look at their service attitude in action. And finally, having a strong employer brand that shows you're a great place to work, well, that attracts the very best candidates right to your doorstep. Okay, so you've hired the right person with that perfect can-do attitude. Great, but the next step isn't just a one-and-done orientation session. True excellence, that comes from seeing training as a continuous process, a loop that supports an employee throughout their entire career. It's all about building a culture where people are always learning and growing. Let's just trace this loop for a second. It kicks off with structured onboarding, really plugging new hires into the hotel's culture from day one. Next up is holistic training, building up both the hard technical skills and the crucial soft skills. Then comes the really important part, continuous coaching, where managers give that real-time feedback. And finally, you have regular refresher courses to keep skills sharp and close any gaps. That completes the loop, and then the whole cycle of improvement just starts all over again. And this right here perfectly illustrates what we mean by holistic training. Look, technical proficiency is totally non-negotiable. Your team has to be an expert in their operational systems, period. But that's only half the story. The soft skills, things like emotional intelligence, clear communication, creative problem solving, that's what gives your staff the power to handle those complex, unscripted, and deeply human moments that really define a memorable guest experience. So why is this continuous, holistic approach so darn important? Well, because consistency is the absolute foundation of a strong brand. Think about it. When every single employee is guided by the same standard operating procedures and trained with the same level of care, then every guest gets that same high-quality brand experience. Doesn't matter if they check in on a quiet Monday morning or a chaotic Saturday night. So, let's recap. We've recruited for attitude. We've trained for skill. Our team is firing on all cylinders. But the strategic work, it isn't over, not by a long shot. The next question we have to ask is a big one for long-term success. How do we protect this incredible investment we've made in our people and build for the future? The answer? It lies in building a robust talent pipeline. And this isn't just about filling the next vacancy that pops up. It's a forward-looking strategy that makes sure the organization has capable, ready-to-go individuals who can step into key roles at a moment's notice. This is how you build real organizational resilience and lock in future success.
At the very heart of this talent pipeline is a concept called succession planning. It's basically the formal process of looking ahead, anticipating what you're going to need in the future, whether that's a new front office supervisor or the next general manager, and then actively developing your internal talent so they are prepared to fill those critical roles. This dramatically reduces risk and makes sure you have smooth, seamless leadership transitions.
So how do you actually build this pipeline? Well, it starts by identifying your higher potential employees, your rising stars. Then, you invest in them with very specific strategies, cross-training them in different departments to build versatile skills, giving them clear career paths so they can actually see a future with the company, and crucially, offering mentoring from senior leaders to guide their development.
And the benefit here is massive. It's twofold. Not only are you preparing your future leaders, but you are also dramatically boosting motivation and retention right now, in the present. Employees who can see a clear path for advancement are so much more likely to be engaged, committed, and loyal. Honestly, investing in your people is the single best way to reduce that costly employee turnover.
So we've talked about recruiting, we've talked about training, and we've talked about developing leaders. But the key insight here, the big takeaway, is that these aren't separate things. They're all interconnected gears in a single unified talent strategy. And the goal? To drive operational excellence across the entire hotel.
Now, for this whole unified strategy to work, it has to be supported by 4 core pillars. It needs active commitment from leadership, where managers are deeply involved. It's supercharged by supportive digital learning tools that make training accessible and efficient. It absolutely thrives in a culture of two-way feedback, where communication flows freely up and down. And it's all held together by a strong cultural alignment, making sure every single employee truly embodies the hotel's core values. Ultimately, after everything we've talked about, it all comes down to this. 3 words: people, process, and pipeline. You find the right people, you implement a consistent process for their training and development, and you build a strategic pipeline for the future. When these 3 elements are working together in harmony, you create this powerful, self-sustaining system for excellence.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. The next time you walk into a great hotel, I want you to look beyond the beautiful decor and ask yourself, is their talent strategy built to last, or is it just built to fill today's roster? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about their real commitment to excellence. Thanks for tuning in.